Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. I've got a new phone. Look at this. Feast your eyes. You want to know what this is? It's an iPhone 16 Max Factor. In other words, it's the biggest fucking iPhone you can get. Now, I've also got an Apple Watch, right? So, got the phone, and you know you go through all that faff, you transfer all your stuff over. So you've got to pair it with your watch. It doesn't bloody work. Now, why doesn't it work? So I'm uninstalling this, I'm resetting this, I'm checking my settings, and it's saying, no, it doesn't work. So I got really angry with Apple because, you know, I really like my Apple stuff, always had Apple stuff. And the thing about Apple stuff is it generally works, doesn't it? And that's what you want from technology, it works. But this didn't work, so I was really annoyed. So I took it into the shop, and they've got to send it away. They've got to update all the software and so on and so forth. So I haven't got a watch. And then I thought, right, well, actually before that, I thought, okay, well, I can't pair it with my watch. Well, so what? I've still got a watch. I've got an Apple Watch. Can't I? I can look at the time. It doesn't work, right? You have an Apple Watch, right? You may not know this, but you think, oh, I know, I'll get an Apple Watch, but you haven't got an Apple phone. It doesn't bloody work. It doesn't work unless you've got the phone. So I thought, I went on the Apple website, and they've got this new thing, right? They sell watches, right? And you don't need a phone for the watch to work. I could not believe it. And the amazing thing about it is, right, you can put in a whole load of algorithms, a whole load of parameters and paradigms, and you say, I want this kind of watch. I want it to have like a leather watch strap. I want it to have like a gold case. I want it to look like this watch. I want it to look like this watch. And what they do, right, they send it off to this AI farm, which is somewhere in the Pacific. I don't know, but apparently they've manufactured, right, this AI farm, which is like the size of Australia, right, and it's full. It's just staffed, right. I mean, they're not really staffed, but they're staffed by AI bots, right. And what these AI bots do is they control everything, right. But so you can get a watch. So you say to Apple, right, this is the watch that I want, all right. And they send it, and it comes by drone. It comes in an hour. I could not believe it. I wasn't even at home. Bloody drone came flying overhead. I didn't know what was going on. Knocked on the front door. Boom! I got hit on the head by this package. Opened it up, and it was my new Apple Watch. And look, here it is, right? My new Apple Watch. And the thing about this watch, it is most unbelievable, right? It does not need a phone to work. It's got this thing that Apple have developed. I don't know how they've done it. These bloody boffins in Cupertino or Cup of Tea, whatever it is, back in California, right? They've designed this system, right? They've got this little wheel at the side. Can you see this? It's like a little wheel at the side. And what you do is you pull out that little wheel. See, so I've pulled that wheel out, and that's how you set the time. I mean, look, you don't need a phone. You don't need an atomic clock. You don't need NASA. You don't need Reform UK to tell you what the time is. I mean, obviously you've got a phone to find out what the time is, so you can set it. But you move that little wheel, right, and then you press it in, and this is the amazing thing. Right? It doesn't have a battery. Can you imagine? Everything in the whole world, right, now runs on batteries. Cars, bicycles, ovens, fridges, televisions, everything runs on battery. But this doesn't have a battery. Right? It doesn't have a battery. What it has, it's got this wheel, right? You see this? You wind it up. Can you hear that? Right? You wind it up, and apparently it's got what's in it. They've got this thing called clockwork, right? Now they've just developed this. They developed it like last week or something. These amazing AI bots on this big farm in the Pacific, the size of Australia. Right? They've developed this thing, and it's called clockwork. And what you do is you wind it up, right? They've got this whole new language. I couldn't believe it. They said, you look in the box and they've got all these instructions, and it says wind it up, and you think, well, what does that mean? I had to go on my phone. I had to go on, Gemini, AI intelligence, all this stuff. I had to say, what does winding up a watch mean? And it said this, you wind it up, you see. And what that does is it creates power, but not from a battery. Can you imagine that? I mean, I've got a pacemaker. If I could just wind it up, I wouldn't need to go and have the battery changed every couple of years or whatever it is. So I've got this amazing watch, right? And it's got a leather strap, see, right? I mean, this is, obviously it's vegan friendly leather strap, okay? So it comes from cows that haven't eaten meat, right? So it's vegan friendly. And what you do is, you put it on your wrist like this. Now this watch, it doesn't tell you what the date is. You can get a model that tells you what the date is, but I didn't want that. I just wanted to know what the time is, what the seconds were. Can you see that? I can't, you know, if I can get quite round there far enough. Can you see that? It tells you what the time is, and now it's about 16 minutes past 11. I don't know if it's right. I'll have to check it on my my new Apple iPhone Pro Max, right, the biggest phone ever made in the whole history of the bloody world. Napoleon himself, Mahatma Gandhi, William Wilberforce, all these famous people I've been reading about, they didn't have an iPhone Pro Max. How did they manage? And they didn't have like a wind-up watch. I mean, Gandhi had to make do with like this early iteration of an Apple Watch. It was rubbish, really. I mean, he didn't tell the date, didn't tell the time, didn't have nothing on it. Little pictures he had to change himself every now and again. Anyway, my advice to you, right, get rid of your Apple Watch, because you can't pair it with your Apple iPhone Pro Max. It doesn't work, mate. But go onto the Apple website, mate. Go on to Apple website, cupoftea.com, right? Key in the sort of watch you want. You might want one that's got this brand, what's it called, Rolex or something, or blank pain, another one, Breitling. All these amazing names of watches. They've only just been developed in this great big AI farm by bots in a Pacific place the size of Australia. But I suggest you get one. It costs a few bob. But that's, what do you expect? You know, technology. I mean, it's amazing technology. It's wind up stuff that's not really technology, but it's early technology. But it doesn't need a battery. See? And there it is, a new Apple Watch. And, well, that's it. Oh, exhausted now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.